Hey, Life Church, I'm going to tell you at least what I think is a humorous story. And that was after Raquel and I were hired to our first full-time ministry position. Hearing that term, pastor, was kind of cool to us. Well, we hadn't been there long when we realized that there was a baptism scheduled coming up. And Raquel realized that she had never been water baptized. Well, she had been as a baby, but we both knew that there were no examples of that in Scripture, that every example of water baptism was always after somebody had made a personal decision. And Raquel realized, I've never been publicly water baptized. So here she is, Pastor Raquel. And make a long story short, even though it was a little bit embarrassing for her, she said, I'm going to do it. I just have to do it. And why did she do that? In front of her children, that she's the children's pastor too. Again, we had that thought. Is that a great example? But you know what? It was a great example. And it's an example of what? It's an example of the bottom line in all of our lives, and that's just obeying God. Regardless of how it looks or how it might seem, or are people going to think that I just met Jesus yesterday? She dispensed with all of that and just obeyed God. Gang, there's reasons, spiritual reasons for baptism beyond simple obedience. I've recorded a video. You can go to lifechurch.fm if you want to watch that and learn a little bit more of the spiritual power. There's power in it, and Raquel experienced that after baptism. But I'm not here to explain that right now. I'm here to ask you a really, really simple question. And here's your question. Is Jesus Christ real to you? Do you know he's alive and he's your Lord? Well, here's the question after that. Have you been publicly water baptized since that day, since you've said yes to Christ? Whether that was 20 years ago or 2 days ago, have you followed Christ in water baptism? Jesus was baptized as an adult. He asks you to do the same thing. It's this simple. If you've never done that, let's dispense with all of the excuses and all of the reasons. I know we've got 100 of them. Many times people have said to me, Pastor Brian, it's personal. And since it's so personal, my faith is so personal, let me just do that in private. Gang, it's always public. Jesus was publicly water baptized. And regardless of how we personally feel about it, that's what he asks us to do. Don't discount what God might do in the life of others. Your baptism is more than just for you. It's about a testimony for others. And it always impacts others. When your friends and family come to see, don't discredit what God might do in their life. Maybe it's more for them than it is for you. And I'm not here to explain all the reasons or the possibilities. I'm here to ask you a question. Have you been baptized? If you haven't, March 11th and 12th is our next baptism. And I'm just pleading with you to jump in, just like Raquel did. Whether or not you feel like you're embarrassed or all of your reasons, let's dispense with all that. March 11th and 12th, you can sign up on your connection card this weekend or email pam@lifechurchmaine.org. Let us know that you're in. But March 11th and 12th, we're going to see a lot of people. You're not going to be the only one baptized, and it's going to be an amazing public display. I really hope you'll join us. I really hope that if you haven't, you're going to follow Jesus Christ in obedience and be water baptized. It's going to be awesome.